have a packed house, so we're going to get started. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure that our agenda refreshes. Okay. So pursuant to the Open Publics Meeting Act, public notice of this meeting has been given by board secretary in the following manner: posting written notice of the official bulletin board at the Voorhees Township Public Schools Administrative Building on July 8th, 2024, sending written notice to the Courier Post on July 8th, 2024, filing written notice with the clerk of Voorhees Township on July 8th, 2024, posting on the Voorhees Township website on July 8th, 2024. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job.
Yeah.
That's one.
Board Secretary, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Bryce? Ms. Cadover?
Here.
Mrs. Munyon?
Here.
Mr. Rosen?
Here.
Mr. Rosner?
Here.
Mrs. Rudder?
Here.
Mrs. Stewart?
Here.
Ms. Verdi?
Here.
Mrs. Watson?
Here. There will be an executive session later, but there will not be one right now. Are we going to change the agenda?
Yes.
Perfect. So that we don't keep all of our lovely Signal Hill students, we're going to switch the agenda around and allow them to go first. So I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Hackett.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I am pleased to have this evening our wonderful, amazing principal of Signal Hill, Ms. South, and she's brought some amazing students with her. And I want to first, before I bring her up, acknowledge that we have our parents here. So of our parents from Signal Hill, welcome and thank you for coming this evening. And we also have a lot of Signal Hill staff here. So our Signal Hill staff, thank you for coming. So now I'd like to bring Ms. Siles up and she'll introduce her wonderful students.
Thank you, Dr. Hackett, President Watson, and members of the board. Good evening. I am Mrs. Salz, and I'm the principal of Signal Hill School. And tonight I have the honor of recognizing some very exciting Husky happenings. While we certainly have several programs and initiatives that we are proud of, tonight we would like to spotlight our after-school clubs, all of which are exceeding expectations. At Signal Hill School, we offer 6 after-school clubs, which include Chess Club. Our club advisor is Mr. Chad Justice. Recipe Club, our club advisor is Miss Erin Toy. Art Club, the club advisor is Miss Ashley Mazzagatti. Move, Groove, and Get Fit Club, our club advisor is Miss Leanne Binkley. STEM Club, our club advisor is Miss Danielle Siriani. And the Lucky 13 Club, our club advisor is Miss Gina Leonetti. I want to take a moment to thank these 6 amazing teachers for generating clubs of high interest and ones that students look forward to each and every week. Without your creativity and dedication, none of this would be possible. Tonight, our students are eager to share with the Board of Education what they have been learning in after-school clubs, the skills they have acquired, the new friends they have met, and the fun activities they have completed. Before we begin our presentation, I would like to thank Dr. Hackett and the Board of Education for providing this opportunity for our elementary students. The profound impact of these extracurricular experiences is immeasurable. While receiving positive feedback is always encouraging, I believe actually witnessing it takes it to new heights. So without further ado, who better than to share what they have been learning than the students themselves? At this time, I would like to introduce Club Advisor, Mr. Chad Justice, and members of our chess club. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Chad Justice. I'm the band director at Signal Hill, but also the chess club director. At chess club, we learn the basics of chess and some basic strategy. So students who are brand new get to learn the basics, and then we do a little tournament and see who comes out on top. So we have a couple students tonight that are going to speak about their experience in chess club. Elijah.
Hello, my name is Elijah Bell, and I am a fourth grade student, and I like to share to you what I like about chess club. Chess club is very fun. I like chess club a lot because you get to connect with friends after school. Mr. Justice is a great teacher. He helps explain the game very well and makes the game interesting. Chess is a new hobby I learned last year in chess club, and I've gotten better as I've learned. I've played more this year. Chess club gave me an opportunity to explore a different interest. This is why chess club is the best. Hi, my name is Brody Buchanan. I'm in fourth grade and I'm also in chess club. Chess club is a good way to play games with friends. I really like playing chess. My great grandpa is actually a famous chess player. It is a really fun club. It is probably my favorite club. During chess club, there will be a chess tournament and people will get paired up with people to play. In chess tournament, Mr. Justice gets us all randomized on his chess tournament website for who's playing who. Above our names are words that say white pieces or black pieces, and we also get paired up with whoever is next to our names. Um, whoever gets their king captured or checkmate loses, and whoever captured their opponent's king wins. But if none win, then it's a draw. After the last game of chess tournament, Mr. Justice puts on everybody's status of the chess on the chess website and shows whichever place someone is in. Chess club is a really fun club to be in.
Hi, good evening. My name's Erin Toy. I'm a speech language pathologist with the district, and I'm also the advisor of Recipe Club. In Recipe Club, students are learning to make both edible and some non-edible recipes, which I've learned they're not too happy about. So I guess we got to go all edible. Examples include after-school snacks such as fruit rice cakes, holiday treats like snowmen donuts and frosted sugar cones, and then some of our non-edible things like sensory Play-Dohs and slime. Students are working collaboratively in small groups and practicing following multi-step written directions, measuring ingredients, and slicing fruit with child-safe knives. Each student also has the opportunity to write out their favorite recipes in personalized recipe books, which they'll get to keep at the end of club. I've really enjoyed advising these students. As a speech therapist, I don't typically monitor a room of 20 plus, so kudos to my colleagues who do. And I hope that these students get to continue exploring cooking and creating in the kitchen. And now I have Delaney and Aiden.
Hello, my name is Delaney. I'm a fifth grader in Miss Sardone's class, and I'm here to tell you about Recipe Club. One thing I really like is when we're making recipes, we get to sit next to our friends. Also, we make all kinds of recipes, some edible and some not. We're also learning a lot, like how to cut fruit and many more things. It's also very cool to come in and see what we're making that day. Now you can see why me and a lot of other students love Recipe Club. Hi, my name is Aiden. I'm a fourth grade student. I like Recipe Club because we get to eat food and do experiments. Like yesterday, we made dough out of flour, chalk, and oil. My favorite part is when we made snowmen from donuts and chocolate chips. Also, I get to take it home if I want. That's why I like Recipe Club.
Hi, my name is Ashley Mazzagatti. I'm a second grade teacher and the art club advisor. The art club is a creative space where students can explore their artistic talents and express themselves through a variety of mediums, including painting, drawing, and crafts. Each week, we have been diving into exciting projects that inspire imagination and foster collaboration. Two of my art club students, Everly and Rowan, are going to tell you a little bit more about the art club and why they love it.
Hi, my name is Rowan. Oh, yeah. Hi, my name is Rowan, and I'm a third grader. My favorite thing about art club is doing fun projects and making new friends. My two favorite projects are creating my own stickers and using clay. Art club made me want to be an art teacher, and when I grow up, I want to be the world's best artist. I think the art club will inspire other kids to become an art teacher too.
Hi, my name is Everly and I'm in third grade. I love art club because I get to be creative and make art with my friends. We have done many different projects so far with Miss Mazzagatti. My favorite project was learning how to make my own stickers. I even taught my friends how to make them.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Leanne Binkley, and I've been a health and physical education teacher at Signal Hill for quite some time. I'm very excited about our Move, Groove, and Fit Club. It has given our kids an opportunity to take the skills and knowledge they learn in PE class just to the next level. We've been doing all sorts of fitness activities, which include HIIT workout sessions, interval trainings. We've even done some dancing. The kids actually are learning dances and enjoying it. We're having a blast with that. A couple other things. We're currently working on fitness levels and fitness goals, learning on how to set our own personal goals and ways to be successful in meeting them. So the club has been truly a pleasure for me, and I feel as though the kids are having a wonderful time as well. And here's one of our students, Valentina. She's here to talk about club as well.
Good evening. My name is Valentina Coppola, and I am in fourth grade. I belong to the Move, Groove, and Get Fit Club. I love this club because I get to see all my friends from third through fifth grade. Plus, it is a chance to make and meet new friends. We play some of our favorite gym activities, like playing drums on yoga balls and trying our best to make the Minute Club by staying in a chin-up position for as long as we can. The games help us teach us how to set goals for ourselves, also motivate us for our very best. We play all different kinds of sports like soccer, basketball, and volleyball. Every club day feels like an adventure. We learn about teamwork and communication while having fun. The best is when we encourage and cheer each other on. I look forward to run, jump, and move around with friends after a long day of school. After club, I always feel energized and happy from all the fun we had. Miss Bankley is one of the best teachers because she's super creative with her games, makes everything so fun and exciting. Lastly, this club is a great reminder to stay healthy and active. It's super important. It's always fun to move, groove, and get fit together.
And our other student was unable to attend tonight, so we have another reading for us.
Yes, so this speech was prepared by fourth grade student Ryan Gallagher, who couldn't join us tonight, but asked that we share what she wrote. The Move, Groove, and Get Fit Club with Miss Binkley is an awesome club. All of the kids get to play and have fun. We get to play sports, stretch, and learn dances. I would also like to add that Miss Binkley is an amazing teacher. She makes the club so much fun. She is one of the reasons I love this club so much. Thank you all for listening today. I hope you have a great rest of your night.
Hello, my name's Danielle Sirianni, and I'm a fourth grade teacher at Signal Hill. and I'm very excited to be the STEM Club advisor this year. Through hands-on activities, collaborative projects, and interactive challenges, students explore essential science, technology, engineering, and mathematical concepts. This club aims to inspire the next generation of innovators and problem solvers. And I'm going to turn it over to two very creative STEM Club members.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie. I'm a fifth grader in Miss Greeley and Miss Trunkwater's class. Today, me and Brody are going to tell you about an after-school program, STEM class. Miss Ariani has taught me, Brody, and the whole class a lot. In week 1, we did a zipline project. We worked in groups and used the materials Miss Ariani gave us. Here are some things she gave us: a foot of tape, a napkin, scissors, and more. We made a little box and put a little eraser in it. Then we tested them and scored how fast they went down the zip line. It was really fun. We also made a Harry Potter one. We used copper, popsicle sticks, a magnet, a light, and tape. At the end of the project, it was really cool because it was glowing and we got to wave it around in the air.
Hello, my name is Brody Reed. I'm a fifth grader in Miss Lynch's class. Today I'm going to tell you about how much I like STEM. So in week 2 of STEM, we made a lava lamp. We used an empty water bottle, a little bit of water, food coloring, vegetable oil, and an Alka-Seltzer. A few steps later and we were done. Another thing I like about STEM is problem solving. We have limited time and materials to do these projects. That's why STEM Club is the best place to be.
Good evening. My name is Gina Leonetti, and I am the advisor of the Lucky 13 Club. Fun fact that the Lucky 13 Club got its name because Taylor Swift's birthday is the 13th of December, but it is also the birthday of both of my children, November 13th and March 13th. So it's like it was meant to be. The Lucky 13 Club is about all things Taylor Swift. We listen to her music, learn about her life and career, and create projects related to her album themes. Taylor's lyrics offer valuable lessons in storytelling, adaptability, and resilience in a way that our students can relate to. Just like poetry read in the classroom, her writing is full of figurative language and hidden meanings that we spend time decoding, discussing, and even rewriting. Some of our favorite activities include making friendship bracelets, redesigning album covers, making paper rings, calm down jars, and bejeweled glasses, all nods to Taylor's lyrics and songs. The Lucky 13 Club celebrates teamwork, creativity, and friendship, just like Taylor Swift. And now we have Amelia and Penelope to tell you a little bit more about it.
Hi, my name is Penelope Hamilton. I am a third grader. We have lots of fun at the Lucky 13 Club. Hi, my name is Amelia Sellers. I'm a fourth grader in Mrs. Rupp's class. Every week we have a theme for our club meeting according to Taylor's albums. We listen to music from the albums and dress in the colors that go with the albums. For example, last week we listened to 1989 and we wore light blue. We made our own Polaroid frames just like Taylor's album covers. We play lots of trivia games to see who knows the most about Taylor and her songs. We talk about her inspiration for writing her songs and albums, what some of her song lyrics mean. We also make friendship bracelets for ourselves and to share with our friends. The Lucky 13 Club made each board member a personalized bracelet for you to remember us. Thank you, Ms. Leonetti, for making this club happen.
Oh, she has their name on it. Yes. It even has my name on it. Oh my goodness.
And as they pass these out, I just want to say they They are such a great club because they made me a bracelet and they broke down and put it in Dallas Cowboy colors. So I really appreciate it. I don't get a lot of good vibes from being a Cowboys fan, but they made a bracelet in blue and gray. So I wanted to say I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's all give them one more round of applause. Huskies, thank you so much for positively representing Signal Hill School tonight. You all did a phenomenal job, and I could not be prouder. And thank you to all of the families for joining us tonight and bringing your children out, especially on a very cold wintry night, to help us showcase our clubs. Your support means the world to us. This concludes our presentation, and on behalf of the students and staff at Signal Hill, we once again thank Dr. Hackett and members of the Board of Education for providing such an enriching program for our upper elementary students. Thank you.
So much.
It's perfect. It's literally perfect. Yeah, thank you, thank you. I didn't expect to get one. It's so nice. So I thought. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna take a picture. Yes. They certainly seem
I
to
guess
be
we're gonna
lined
do
up.
one group photo, sorry.
Can we give them another round of applause? Thank you so much to our teachers, our parents. They were wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much.
This is such a clear testament to thinking outside of the box, coming up with really engaging programs. I think Principal South told me we have about 50% participation. That's incredible for after school activities, especially when we all know how incredibly busy these kids are these days. So for them to commit to these clubs is a tremendous, tremendous testament to their engagement, but also the creativity of the teachers and the staff for coming up with really great ideas. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You all did a really good job. Coming up here and talking to all of us is hard. So we are incredibly proud of you. But we also recognize that you all, it's late, and we're not going to hold any of these young students and families hostage for a board meeting. You are more than welcome to stay, but we totally understand if you decide to leave. So we'll give you a couple of moments to exit if you want to. Thank you again for all coming out and supporting them. I know.
I feel like half these kids dress better than I do. Half these kids dress better than I do. Like they have like a style, you know? So cute.
Miss Haley's like, they just my name on it.
You were trying to give it away.
I'm like, I can't take this. This is our board member. And then like, you're like, it has your name on it. My heart just melted. Oh, that's so sweet.
For real? Oh my God.
Okay. We're going to get back to business. We have a couple of board appointments. I do want to state what they are and thank all of the members of the board who are participating. Mr. Rosner, we are putting up as a representative to the Camden County School Boards Association Executive Committee. Ms. Verdi as a delegate to the New Jersey School Boards Association. Ms. Ketover as an alternate delegate to the New Jersey School Boards Association. Excuse me. Mr. Bryce as a legislative representative to the New Jersey School Boards Association, and Ms. Branch Stewart as representative to the Camden County Educational Service. Can I get a motion to approve all of those appointments?
So moved, Rudder.
Second, Ketover.
No,
Online voting is open.
forgot what we were doing.
Mrs. Bunyan, is yours working? No, not working. We can verbal, yes? I'll mark it for you, thank you. The motion unanimously passes.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the November 25th, 2024 regular meeting?
So moved, Verdi.
Second, Rosen.
Online voting is open. Mrs. Munyon?
Yes.
That's okay. Mr. Rosen? Okay. We have 7
Aye.
yeses and 1 abstention from Mr. Rosner.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the January 6th, 2025 regular board meeting board reorganization?
So moved, Rosner.
Second, Rudder.
Online voting is open. Mrs. Munyon?
Yes.
Motion unanimously passes.
I only have a couple of very brief comments. It is the Board Appreciation Month, or School Boards Appreciation Month. So I wanted to actually express my appreciation for this board. This is a tough job. More people should do it. I think it actually builds a ton of character because it is difficult to sit up here. It's difficult to get letters from angry parents. It's difficult to get letters from angry community members. It's difficult to get just all of the things that come along with being on the board, not to mention, we don't get paid for this. I think people think we do, but we don't. But things like today and seeing the students is why we do this. And I'm so grateful that we include something like that in every single board member, in every single board meeting, because it does always remind us of what our purpose is. And I am incredibly, incredibly lucky to be on a board with so many intelligent, bright people. I must give a special thanks specifically to my board vice president, Ms. Ketover. She keeps me grounded and focused, and it's fun to be on a board when you can also spend time with a person who teaches you how to lead, but also is your friend, and you consistently learn new things as you navigate these really difficult waters and times. But I also want to recognize the rest of the board who are remarkable individuals who bring intelligence and patience and kindness to what we do every single day. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I am honored to be serving on this board with all of you. Fire drills and safety drills are shown on the attachment. The harassment, intimidation, and bullying report is also attached, as well as suspensions. We have a couple of Oprah requests that we've received. The Albert Anderson Philly photo film has been received and closed out. Michael Roast Oprah request is open. And Randy Stupler has made an Oprah request, which also remains open. Moving to Board Secretary report.
Thank you. I have several items under my section tonight. The first is the presentation of the 2023-2024 audit report. And the official title of that is the Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, or ACFR. And there's also the AMR, which is Auditor's Management Report on Administrative Findings. This year we have 0 findings. In the past, we had some related to food service, just with some excess funding from during COVID. That has all been utilized to buy equipment for the kitchens and also the kitchen equipment in the new building. We have to go over some items with the audit because that's part of approving it. Available to the public is the summary of the audit report. It's the whole entire thing is the entire report is at 20.10 under finance, but the summary report just goes over highlights of the financials. So what it starts out with is a balance sheet of the governmental funds. Included in governmental funds are our general fund, our special revenue fund, and capital projects fund. There's also enterprise fund, which is our CER and food service. I won't go over all the details of this, of course, but some highlights are we did invest money this year. What's broken out is only the New Jersey ARM investment of about $2 million, but overall we invested 17 million, 15 million of it was in CDs, but the CDs are included in cash and cash equivalents. Let's see what else. With those amounts, with those 2 investments, we earned 157,823, but we also invest just in our regular bank account. So the total interest earned is about $908,000. So that's very beneficial for the budget. At the bottom part of that page, it shows the breakdown of our reserves. We often talk about capital reserve, emergency reserve, maintenance reserve. That's all detailed at the bottom. And those are all balances as of June 30th, 2024. This actual report is detailed in the audit on exhibits B1 and B2, and there's also C1. But again, this is just a summary. If we skip forward to page 3, that shows the revenue section of the governmental funds. And then on farther down is the audit recommendation summary. You'll see that we had 0 findings or recommendations, and it mentions the status of the prior year finding. It says a review was performed on the prior year recommendations and corrective action was taken on the 1 prior year finding. So it is a good audit report. We're very proud of that. And I would like to thank Ms. Curie out in the audience, my assistant business administrator. She really handles the overall audit. She deals with the auditors personally all the time. I'm only there on the side doing a few of the schedules. She really does the whole audit with them, and she does a great job. She's also our treasurer. So when you see the cash report, she does that. She does the bank reconciliations, and she prepares all the board secretaries' report. I just have the honor of presenting. She does all the work for that, but thank you. Okay, so then just to move forward, for a little highlight on the actual ACFR. There's different sections to it. There's the transmittal letter. The auditor's opinion is a clean opinion. There's management discussion and analysis. There's the different financials for the governmental accounting, and there's financials for enterprise funds. Those financials are at B4 and B5, which is, like I said, food service and CER. Food service, even though we had excess cash during the COVID time when we were reimbursed for all the meals that we served, overall, food service runs at a deficit. On the financials at B5, it shows food service had a loss of 43,000. If you adjust out some, it's not grant money, but it's assistance that we received for supply chain. If you adjust that out and you adjust out the equipment that we purchased, it really would be a loss of about 27,000, and the year before was 64. So that's why we always have to analyze what meal prices are and so forth, just to make sure we don't run at a deficit consistently, but we do still have reserve money there. Another section of the financial audit are the footnotes to the financials, and that describes all the different sections of the balance sheet and the income statement. It also highlights our investments. It talks about how we have a smaller amount of money invested in New Jersey ARM because that's not insured in the same way that the CDs are. Any money in CDs or bank accounts are guaranteed by FDIC and GoodPA. So we we kind of maximize our investments at that level. So I won't go into any more of that, but I just wanted to give you the highlight. We're very pleased with the results of the audit, and we work very hard all year to be in compliance, and this is the result of it. The AMR just shows additional testing that the auditors have to do. And again, we have no findings. So I will go on to the next topic. The next topic is the application for state school aid. It's the ASSA report. Every October 15th, every school in the state has to do a count of their students. So I know there was a report that was shared with the board before that showed that we had 3,062 students. That represents our on-roll number of 2,976, plus our provider preschool students that are 86 students that are at providers. So we have a total of 3,062. When we compare the on-roll students from last year to this year, we're pretty much flat in our enrollment. Overall, our enrollment went up by 15 students. 7 of them are in grades pre-K to 8th grade, the regular ed students, and 8 are in the special ed category. We have to break out special ed elementary and special ed middle separately. That's just how the state requires it. When we do an analysis of the regular ed students, it shows that our pre-K went down by 2 students. Our kindergarten went down by 16 students, and our grades 1 through 5 went up by 4, and surprisingly, our 8th grade went up by 21. But again, it's a net increase of 15, so we're pretty much stable. We'll see more of an increase next year or later this year when we expand our preschool. So the ASSA is done every October 15th, and the auditors review that to make sure we're okay. Then the next item on my list is the Burlington County Insurance Pool Joint Insurance Fund. We are part of a JIF. We call it the JIF. It's a joint insurance fund of many districts. I would like to show that we were awarded $4,000 at the annual JIF dinner. This represents our safety initiatives, claims reporting, and financial excellence. And I would say the people that are most involved in this are Clark Mathis, Tom Higgs, Trisha Milady, and let's see, our nurses, and Danielle Curie. So I would say those are the people that are mostly involved in this, making sure we're safe, making sure if somebody does get hurt, it's reported right away. All this stuff is analyzed by the JIF and they reward us accordingly. So 4,000 is a good number to get from them. And then we have to use that for other safety items, to purchase safety items. Sometimes we roll it over and save it up for something to use later. I think one year we might have bought our Kubota. Didn't we buy that? Yeah, we bought a Kubota to clear snow. So it does come in handy. All right, the next item on my list is maintenance projects. Mr. Mathis and his staff were in over winter break, and some of the items that they did were they installed some charging stations in conference room tables. They changed HVAC filters throughout the district. They did a lockdown active shooter alarm system testing where the police were involved in that as well, and our alarm company. They installed a new heating and AC unit at Signal Hill. They also investigated a stormwater infiltration issue at Signal Hill. There were some roots that had gone into a drain pipe and caused some backing up of water. That was all cleared up, so that's fixed now. They received milk during break. They replaced library lights and upgraded to LED lights. There was hard surface flooring installed in the music room at E.T. Hamilton. And again, HVAC filters and just general repairs. So they try to maximize the work when we're not here. So it's really always impressive to see how much they have gotten done during this break. So thank you for your hard work. The next item is School Board Recognition Month. So we would like to recognize and thank all of our school board members. Each of them has received a token of appreciation, and I would like to read a resolution on their behalf. Okay, so this is the resolution for the Voorhees Township Board of Education. Whereas the New Jersey School Boards Association has declared January 2025 to be School Board Recognition Month, a time when all residents can acknowledge the contributions made by our local school board members. And whereas the Voorhees Township Board of Education is one of 581 local school boards in New Jersey, which sets policies and oversees operations for public school districts, And whereas the Voorhees Township Board of Education embraces the goal of high-quality education for all New Jersey public school students, and whereas New Jersey's local school boards help determine the educational goals for approximately 1.4 million children in pre-kindergarten and through 12th grade, and whereas the New Jersey's 5,000 local school board members who receive no remuneration for their services act as advocates for public school students as they work with administrators, teachers, and parents for the betterment of public education. And whereas school boards strive to provide the resources necessary to meet the needs of all students, including those with special needs. And whereas boards of education provide accountability to the public, they communicate the needs of the school district to the public, and they convey to school administrators the public's expectations for the schools. And whereas New Jersey can take pride in its schools, which rank among the nation's best in key achievement indicators, such as the National Assessment of Educational Progress Scores and the preparation for college through advanced placement offerings and SAT assessments. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Voorhees Township Board of Education does hereby recognize the services of local school board members throughout New Jersey as we join communities statewide in observing January 2025 as School Board Recognition Month, and be it further resolved that the Voorhees Township Board of Education urges all New Jersey citizens to work with their local boards of education and public school staff towards the advancement of our children's education. Thank you very much for your service. That concludes my section.
Thank you, Mrs. Haley. Superintendent report.
Okay, good evening again, everyone. As we celebrate School Board Appreciation Month, I'm reminded of the powerful words of an author and educator, Dr. Stephen Covey. And he says, leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. This quote perfectly embodies the selfless dedication of our school board members. Your leadership and volunteer service are a reflection of the unwavering commitment to our students, staff, and the entire school community. Thank you for giving your time, expertise, and energy to ensure that our district continues to thrive and evolve. Once again, happy Board Appreciation Month. During the board meeting in November, there were a few questions asked, and I will answer them now. One of the questions asked was, why was the word community removed from the district organizational chart in June of 2024? As a point of clarification, the decision to remove community and implement other organizational changes to the chart were actually made in March of 2023. And while we deeply value and welcome the feedback from our community, it is important to note that organizational charts primarily reflect the structure related to the day-to-day operations of a school district. I received various questions or comments about Regulation 5600, which is student conduct. One of the first comment was that for arson, the superintendent was not listed under arson. So the superintendent now is included for all 3 offenses for all grade levels under arson. Another comment was the superintendent is not listed until the 3rd offense for assault for the middle school only. Superintendent is now added to all 3rd offenses for all grade levels. Comment was made that on assault on a staff member, superintendent was not listed until the 3rd offense for middle school only. Superintendent is now listed for all 3 offenses for all grade levels. Comment made about falsifying a fire alarm, superintendent was not listed until the 2nd offense for middle school and the 3rd offense for other grades. And there was also a question about whether we should charge a fine. The superintendent is now listed on the 2nd offense for all, and we did not add payment of a fine. Announcements for this meeting. I'm pleased to inform you that we've created a link on the district's website that provides information about various community, state, and federal resources available to our families. This link will be regularly updated as the district receives new information. My next superintendent's forum will take place on January 30th at 6:30 p.m. in this building. Our parents and community members are invited to come out and have a session with me. There's no set agenda for these sessions. It's whatever the parents and community members want to talk about. So again, my second forum of this school year will take place on January 30th, 6:30 in this building. And our next parent virtual workshop will take place on February the 12th at 7 p.m. Ms. Colleen Nolan, who is our district instructional coach, will present a workshop on problem solving in mathematics. So I hope our parents are able to join us for that wonderful virtual workshop, 7 o'clock on February 12th. And I'd like to end my report by bringing up Miss Julie Lyons. She's our Director of Early Childhood, K-5 Literacy, and ESL. She has a couple of roles. And she's going to present a very brief presentation on the alternate access scores for our English language learners. Ms. Lyons?
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. President Watson, Dr. Hackett, members of the board, thank you for allowing me to present this information this evening. I would like to call this is almost a part 2 of the presentation from the summer, where I presented access for L's results. At the time, we had not received our alternate access for L's results, so I did not have that information to share, but now I have some additional information to provide. So the alternate access for L's is another assessment, but this is given to our multilingual learners who have the most significant cognitive disabilities. So this test is individually administered to the students. It is a large print paper-based test. And the students who are taking the alternate access are typically our multilingual learners who are also taking, instead of the NJSLA, they would be taking the DLM, the Dynamic Learning Maps assessment as well. Similar to the access for L's, the alternate access is still testing English language proficiency across the 4 domains that I talked about in the summertime, which is speaking, listening, reading, and writing. And alternate access meets all the US federal requirements under IDEA, Individuals with Disabilities Act, ESSA, Every Student Succeeds Act, to monitor and report our multilingual learners' progress towards English language proficiency. So this year, like I said, we did not have those results at the same time as the access for L's because the state was, or WIDA was in a standard setting event and they had to recommend cut scores, but receive final approval from the State Board of Education. So those cut scores were not approved until November 6th, which is why we didn't have them earlier. And that delayed the release of the scores to school districts. We received our hard copies of the scores on November 27th, and as required, we made sure that those individual score reports were sent out to parents and guardians within 30 days of us receiving the hard copies. Okay, and as far as the results, there are suppression rules in place, and because we had less than 10 students that take the alternate access for L's, we are not at liberty to share those results because we need to maintain and protect student confidentiality. So I can tell you that they took the test, that we sent the results home, but I can't actually share specific data because of those suppression rules. What I am showing you though is a report that parents received that helps them understand their child's access, alternate access scores. So you can see there's some color bands there. It's showing the 4 domains that I mentioned. It provides the student's overall proficiency level when you look at how they scored in each of the 4 domains of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. There is a sample individual score report at the bottom right, so parents can see how that might look compared with their child's report. And then there's a nice section at the bottom that says, what should I do next? And based on the child's scores, it provides some information for what parents can do at home to help support their child. And this is just reiterating some of the intervention strategies that I had discussed over the summer that we're continuing to do, which is conducting ongoing data analysis with our team, making sure that we're collaborating between departments as needed, and we're making sure that all of our staff and administrators are provided with annual professional development so they can better understand the access and then also just how to better meet the needs of the MLs in the classroom. Some of those trainings are going to take place at upcoming faculty meetings in the next month or so. And then once again, the intervention strategies, some of these I mentioned in the summer, we have provided sheltered English instruction training for our ESL staff. And next year, we're looking to roll out some additional training to the general education staff so that they have some of these strategies as well. And then we continue to utilize our district programs to meet our students' individual needs between the MLIN period, RTI, basic skills, our morning program, differentiated small group instruction that's provided in the classroom, and then the daily ESL services that our MLs receive. And then we are now entering the testing window for this school year. That was reporting on last year's alternate access results, but the window for access for L's and alternate access for L's is opening on February 3rd. That window closes March 28th. So our ESL team is busy creating schedules for the principals in their building so that they can seamlessly administer those assessments. And we provided access test administration training for the ESL team back in the fall in November. They have to take some yearly online modules just to refresh and make sure they're ready to administer the test. I have to take those as well. And then in January, I did a follow-up training with the team because the Department of Education had released some additional slides in January that I needed to turnkey to the staff just to give them the most up-to-date information. So that was taken care of. So we are all set for this year's assessment. And then I will see you again in a few months to be sharing scores for this year's access for Ls and alternate access for Ls. Once again, thank you for your attention. And that's all I have unless you had any questions.
I have one quick question.
Yes.
So just the reports that are sent home to the families, are they sent home in the family's first language?
Yes, they are. And we also send them in English. So they have sets to compare with one another.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yes. All right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Lyons. Thank you, Dr. Hackett. Moving to the committee reports, Mr. Rosen, can I get a report on the Finance Committee?
Yes. The Finance Committee met on December 3rd virtually. The attendees were Julie Ketover, Jacob Rosner, Randy Stupler, Dr. Hackett, Helen Haley, Daniel Carey, and me. The Finance Committee discussed the annual comprehensive financial report, which was reviewed just a little bit earlier in this meeting. Reports that impact state aid, the district report of transported resident students, and the district will be reviewing options to improve transportation efficiency. We reviewed the ASSA, which Ms. Haley spoke about earlier at this meeting. We also talked about the demographic projection analysis report that is awaiting input from Voorhees Township on planned residential construction projects. And once the demographic report is received from Sundell Associates, I think there's an editing. The district will review the available capacity within the school buildings to accommodate potential demographic changes. We reviewed the balance of reserve accounts and spending on capital and maintenance projects. We also talked about changing certain contracted services from a calendar year basis to align with the fiscal year, the school year, which was actually done at the last board meeting. And we also talked about the original Crescent School. And if I'm correct, I think it's the building on that corner of the property, pointing in the right direction, and brainstorming options to preserve the building and its potential uses. The next Finance Committee meeting is next Wednesday, which will be focusing on transportation.
Great, thank you. Ms. Rutter, could you provide the Academic Excellence Committee report?
Sure. The Academic Excellence Committee meeting was held on December 11th, virtually from 6 to 7 p.m. It was myself, Mrs. Branch Stewart, Mrs. Ketover, Mr. Rosen, Dr. Hackett, and Mr. Moskowitz. We talked about the after-school clubs. Thank you so much. We went over all of them in all of the schools, and we discussed possible expansion of them for the future. We talked about after-school tutoring. We discussed the Summer Learning Academy and what that will look like this summer. We discussed the Spanish program and having more curriculum written for Spanish expansion over the summer. We got an update on the WIN period as it is wrapping up the first phase. We discussed accelerated math, and we also discussed contracted pre-K vendors. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rosner, could you give a Personnel Committee report?
Yes, the Personnel Committee met on December 16th to hear an HIB appeal from the board. Mr. Bryce, Dr. Hackett, me, Ms. Rutter, and Ms. Danella was there, and our recommendation is at 16.7 on the agenda. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Audience participation. Anyone wishing to address the board, please approach the side table on the right and write your name and address on the login sheet. While the board is limited in its ability to respond to the public on matters involving personnel, litigation, negotiations, and attorney-client privilege, the board will now hear comments from the public relating to items on the agenda for this board meeting. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. The board will not take action this evening. You will be notified at some later time by letter, electronic mail, telephone, or in the context of a later board meeting of any action the board does take.
Hi, good evening. I'm Trish Saka, a third grade teacher at Signal Hill. Voorhees resident for 30 years now. And I am the current teacher VTEA Association president. So that's why I'm standing here tonight to speak to you on behalf of the staff. But before, I do want to say Happy Board Appreciation Month. As you know, your job is very hard. And I have to tell you that being the president of the association is harder than being a mom, a wife, a teacher, any of that. So, but I am here on behalf of the staff to ask for your consideration in the calendar that I know is on the agenda for approval tonight. So as you know, our current calendar that we're working under has undergone a ton of renovation. It was approved last January and then reapproved with a bunch of changes in June. And then currently with our snow day, there's been a lot of discussion about other potential changes. So looking forward to the 25-26 calendar, the staff asks that you, I don't know how long you've had the calendar. I don't know if as a full board you meet to discuss the calendar. I don't know if you discuss all the changes that were made in the upcoming calendar. I don't know if you realize that the staff is coming back in August, that we're talking about not being able to plan spring break, that we've taken holidays away, that we have taken away personal time for staff to work on their own. We've had like half days or early dismissal days to work on our grades. So with that being said, I just want to make sure that before you vote on the calendar tonight, that you have all had the opportunity to look it over, and that as a board or as a board committee, as a calendar committee, that you have considered the changes, considered the effects on the staff and the community. Because if one snow day threw us into this type of chaos that we've experienced the last couple of weeks trying to figure out what to do about one snow day, I just want to make sure that when we tell the staff what to expect for next year's work schedule, that we can stick to it. So that's all I ask. Thank you.
Seeing no other comments from the board.
I have a comment. I would like to take just a minute to respond to Ms. Stupler's parting speech she gave at our last meeting, or her last meeting. I had things to say that night, but felt it better to take time to reflect before I spoke. Nobody in their right mind, and I do stress right mind, runs for the Board of Education unless they care deeply for the children's education in the school district. I do not appreciate Ms. Stupler's call to the rest of us to step down. I do not appreciate being thrown into her reference of the most toxic group she has ever worked with. Nothing Ms. Stupler said has been my personal experience, which is why I feel the need to publicly state my opinion tonight. I deeply value my fellow board members. And more than anything, I appreciate Dr. Hackett and Mrs. Haley. I hold these two polished professionals with the highest regard. That's all. I look forward to continued collaboration with everyone. Thank you.
I have some questions and comments. So before I get to my remarks, I have a couple of questions. So on the Academic Excellence Committee report, the cut of after-school tutoring for children needing additional supports was discussed after I asked for it to be added to the agenda. I want to note that I am not on that committee, so I am not privy to the conversations in that committee and must rely solely on the brief minutes provided. So my question is, what was the committee's consensus regarding the administration's decision to cut the program? I see that there was a note in the committee report that staff prefer before school tutoring, not after school. I'd like more information about that since we are now providing the after school clubs. So there does seem to be at least some faculty interest in staffing after school activities. And is this the end of the conversation regarding this program, or will there be additional considerations for the program? While I understand budget and staffing concerns, I am also concerned of prioritization of limited resources to children who need additional supports. I also have a question regarding the approval of another progress payment on the Voorhees Early Childhood Center tonight. We've been told that the opening of the center has been delayed again. I want to remind the public that we have been paying for staff for the center since the beginning of the school year. I'd like some clarity about how foreseeable these delays were, and if the administration knew or had reason to know in October when this board was asked to approve a change order for the kitchen and told that we couldn't ask for more information or seek alternative options to the costly change order, because if we didn't approve the change at that meeting, we would delay the December opening by 4 weeks, perhaps more, if I'm remembering correctly. We can refer back to the recording of the meeting as to those questions several of us had about the change order and the additional expenses. So I just love some additional clarification as to what was known about potential delays back in October. Onto my remarks, which reflect my personal opinions and obviously should not be construed as an action of the board as a whole. There is a quote about the importance of dissenting voices. It states, "Where all think alike, no one thinks very much." These words resonate with me, especially in my role as a board member, where I believe my duty is not to conform for the sake of comfort, but to challenge, to question, and to speak up when I believe it is necessary. This district deserves thoughtful, deliberate decision-making, and that cannot happen if every voice is an echo of the last. A diversity of thought is how we uncover blind spots, identify unintended consequences, and ensure that every decision serves the best interests of our children and our faculty and our community. Unfortunately, dissent is often uncomfortable for those in power. Tonight, I want to address something that I believe the public deserves to understand. Over at least the next 11 months, you will see me question the administration about things like why we've cut the after-school tutoring program for kids who need the most help, or why our budget for projects like the administration building sewer project was so immensely underestimated. You'll see me explain why I'm voting no on things like raising the price of school lunches because of the impact it can have on those living paycheck to paycheck. You'll see me question proposed policy language, like if the policy committee tries once again to pass a policy to prevent me from speaking as I am doing right now. You'll see me question why projects like ballooning budgets, why projects have ballooning budgets like the Early Childhood Center's kitchen change order that I referenced earlier. You'll also see me ask for greater transparency, like I did for 6+ months when the administration and board leadership stopped the recording of our meetings without a vote from this board. To the public, I want you to watch what happens next when I speak up. I believe you will see what has been happening behind the scenes for my entire time on this board. Attempts to silence, discredit, embarrass, and punish me for not being a rubber stamp and for not falling in line. Maybe it'll be through being routinely reprimanded from the dais, like was so often done to my colleagues. It could be in long, condescending, bullying tactic-laden emails telling me to essentially shut up when I raised concerns over the stark racial disparities in our suspension data for 2 years, where I was told there was nothing to see here. Just for now, finally, a new committee to be established on this very issue that conveniently excludes me, but includes those who tried to silence me and refused to even discuss a policy I drafted on the issue in committee. Perhaps an ethics complaint will be filed against me, as was done against Mrs. Stupler, the decision of which is now public and we collectively paid for as taxpayers to defend and adjudicate. It could be that the powers will try to ignore me exclude me from key committees like policy, academic excellence, personnel, discipline, or the finance committees, as was already done. Or by treating me like a pariah, rolling their eyes when I speak, basically all the things we teach our children not to do in school to their classmates. And if you're unsure what I mean, you can listen to the recordings of these meetings, the recordings of which I believe are a necessity to safeguard transparency and accountability. And when you hear in a few minutes the board president read the statement about how all of our questions and concerns should be raised before our meetings in committee or through email, please note that this is the same board president who imagined a policy out of thin air that board members may not email the superintendent to ask questions, request information, or otherwise communicate directly with the superintendent without copying or going through the board president or vice president on every single correspondence. Again, as usual, before this meeting, I have not seen a single question asked by my colleagues on this agenda. And as to committees, if you exclude board members from the committees where substance is actually being discussed, there is no opportunity for debate except right here and right now. So let me be clear. I will not sit here and allow my voice to be silenced or relegated to committees that don't meet. I will continue to demand more, to demand better. I may not always win a debate or a vote, and that's fine. I will accept that because that is how a governing body such as this functions. But what I won't accept is attempts to silence me. I am here ready and willing to get to work because no matter how good our district is, I believe we can always strive to be better and better. I ran for this position because I believe in the power of education to transform lives. I believe the people of Voorhees deserve representatives who are willing to hear all sides, even when it makes them uncomfortable. That is what leadership requires, especially in the times ahead. To my colleagues in leadership, I urge you to set aside personal grievances and focus instead on what truly matters, the students and families of this district. Punishing dissent does not build trust or improve outcomes for our community. It only stifles the debate that is essential to making sound, well-rounded decisions. Where all think alike, no one thinks very much. I truly hope I am proven wrong on all of this, that we can all work together in a more positive, respectful way that values, not fears, differences of opinions. Let us not allow this board to become a place where critical thinking and healthy debate is replaced by silence, conformity, and complacency. Let's work together, be bolder, and be creative. Thank you.
I have some comments.
Go for it.
First, it was really nice to see the tangible impact that the clubs have made. This was a passion project of Miss Rudder. And I just want to say it was like awesome to have. It's my first friendship bracelet or whatever it's supposed to be called. I will cherish it forever. It always amazes me how well the students, it's really hard to speak in public. I'm nervous now. So to think about, the kids coming up here and speaking through those nerves is really, really impressive. And I'm always amazed every time that they do it. So that's the first thing. So thank you. The second is I don't often make public comments, but I watched the November meeting. I know I need a new hobby, but I believe that the statements from former board member Miss Randy Stupler misconstrued the actions and motivations of the members of this board who did not speak in the November meeting. I prefer to keep my head down and do the work. However, I would like to offer a different point of view for the public to hear. I'd like to start by saying that I believe every member of this board's hearts are in the right place, and they believe they are acting in the best interests of the community. Randy made several comments in November, such as, quote, "The board priorities are not the children's, teachers, and community members, but their own power," that this is the most toxic board that she's been a part of, and telling people to resign to give others in the community a chance. There are other people on this board who completely disagree, including me. This has not been my experience. I've had a cordial and respectful relationship with my fellow board members and the administration. The only reason I serve is to serve those constituents, not some perceived power. It is wrong to come up here and speak generally about the actions and motivations of others. Another comment, so few of us are up here for the right reasons, saying only a few are doing their job. I read everything that comes before me. I ask questions when I need clarification. We do our work before the meeting. We ask hard questions, some easy questions. We get answers. We push when we need to. It's unfair to broadly assert that people are not putting in the work or rubber stamping everything the administration does. Finally, I don't agree with everything the administration does, nor do my other board members. I may want to see some things change and have expressed my opinions respectfully. Generally, I think the district is moving in the right direction. Dr. Hackett and Ms. Haley are running the district with competency and integrity. For that, I am grateful. I am also grateful to my fellow board members who take time out of their lives to serve the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Moving on to the business portion of the meeting. As we move into the business portion of our meeting, we want to recognize that it may appear as if the board takes action with very little comment, and in many cases, a unanimous vote. Before an item is placed on the board agenda, it is thoroughly reviewed by the superintendent and administration. The superintendent then presents the recommended action to the appropriate board committee and works with the committee to ensure that the members fully understand the recommendation. Once the committee is satisfied, the item is placed on the board agenda for discussion and action at a public meeting. Board agendas are made available to board members several days in advance of the meeting, giving us ample time to review the agenda and have all of our questions answered. Further, we are kept up to date between meetings on the ongoing work of the administration and the important issues in the district. All of these efforts ensure that we are well informed and prepared to take action at our meetings. Moving on to policy. Can I get a motion to approve all of the items under policy?
So moved, Stewart. Second, Rudder.
Online voting is open. Mr. Rosen,
Yes.
motion unanimously passes.
Moving to curriculum, can I get a motion to approve all of the items under curriculum?
So moved, Rosner.
Second, Rudder.
Can I ask that 16.5 be pulled out and voted on separately?
Can I get a motion to approve all of the items under 16? Oh, do we have to vote on her motion to pull it out?
If there's a second, you would take a vote on it.
Never had a second. That's
sorry.
not how this has happened. And if we've asked for something to be pulled out, to be voted on separately, that has been respected at every other board meeting.
Right, so I just want to clarify, are you making a motion or just a request?
I'm just requesting that that one just be pulled out so it can be voted on separately.
So the current motion to approve all items under 16.1, but without 16.5. So 16.1 to 16.4, 16.6, 16.7.
So moved.
Second.
We had a motion, the first and second. But then we just
So
had
that's
another
it.
one.
Right, that was my question. So the original motion was for all items 16.1 through 16.7. So if we're amending that motion, we just need to be clear about that. So we had a first and a second, I'm assuming for the amended motion.
That was
Can
what I thought.
Is that we can consider that?
Yes.
Okay.
Do I change my first and second?
So yes, because what we're voting on is 16.1 to 16.4 and 16.6 to 16.7, correct?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
It was Mr. Rosen.
I was the first and Mr. Rosen was the second.
So should we not vote for what's on our thing right now? Or is that
I
the,
think you can.
okay, that's the right,
As
that's
long as
the amended.
everyone's clear what you're voting on, correct?
Yeah.
Motion unanimously passes.
Now, can I get a motion to approve item 16.5 under curriculum?
I'd like to be able to have a conversation about that before
So
we
after
vote.
the motion and the second, we'll go into debate.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
So I was not aware that there was any faculty concerns about the calendar. So I am a bit concerned about that and would ask us to table this to the next meeting so we have an opportunity to understand those concerns fully and make a more educated decision on the school calendar.
Can I ask you a question about that? What would be the impact to not voting on it in this meeting versus like, does it impact anything if there's a delay?
We were trying to get the information out to the staff and the parents so that they can make their plans for the next school year. So we just want to get out as fast as we can.
Can I don't know if this is appropriate, so tell me if it isn't, but Mrs. Saka, I appreciate what you said. I am curious what the specific asks are from the teachers.
So,
Sorry, if that's not.
yeah, so this isn't, with respect, this isn't an opportunity for the public to participate. There's a motion on the floor. So to the extent that there is,
Can I make an amended motion?
Debates, questions, this is the time on the motion that's on the floor. But this is just for board comment and debate.
So can we amend the motion to table this?
You just
until
make a new motion.
Yeah, make a new motion to table this until the next meeting so that this board can get that full information and make an educated decision.
You're waiting for a second, is that right?
Yes.
I'll second that.
Ask for any debate on that, on the motion to table?
Okay, I'll call the roll. Ms. Kedover? This is a motion to table.
Yes.
Mrs. Munyon?
Yes.
Mr. Rosen?
Yes.
Mr. Rosner?
Yes.
Mrs. Rudder?
Yes.
Mrs. Stewart? Ms. Verdi?
Yes.
Mrs. Watson?
Yes.
Motion carries the table.
Moving on to personnel, can I get a motion to approve all of the items under personnel as recommended by the superintendent?
So moved.
Second, Rosner.
Online voting is open. Motion unanimously passes.
Can I get a motion to approve all of the items under transportation?
So moved, Rudder.
Second.
Online voting is open. Motion unanimously passes.
Can I get a motion to approve all of the items under buildings and grounds?
So moved.
Second, Rosner.
Online voting is open. Motion unanimously passes.
Can I get a motion to approve all of the items under finance?
So moved.
Second, Rudder.
Online voting is open. Motion unanimously passes.
Public comment. Anyone wishing to address the board, please approach the side table on the right and write your name and address on the login sheet. While the board is limited in its ability to respond to the public on matters involving personnel, litigation, negotiations, and attorney-client privilege, the board will now hear comments from the public. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. The board will not take action this evening. You will be notified at some later time by letter, electronic mail, telephone, or in the context of a later board meeting of any action the board does take. Board comments? We will be going into executive session to talk about a matter of personal confidentiality, including but not limited to staff or student discipline matters. I would imagine we should be in there for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then we will return to public session. We do not expect to take action when we return.
Need a motion?
Can I get a motion to adjourn to executive session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hold on. Are we good to, are we good? Okay. Can I get a motion to return to public session?
So moved, Rosner.
Second, Rudder.
All in favor?
Aye.
This isn't right. This is the January 20, am I crazy?
January 22nd.
Oh, January 25th. Hello. I'm like, what is happening? Our next meeting is January 25th, 2025. It's the board retreat here on Saturday. All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
That was Rosen.
All in favor?
Aye.